Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Derek A. Smith, aka Dr. Negotiator. And today I want to talk to you about 5 reasons that you should always ask for more than you expect to get in a negotiation. First of all, what is negotiating? Negotiating is the art of reaching an agreement by resolving differences through creativity. Your goal is to get the contract signed. One of the fundamental rules of being a powerful negotiator is that you should ask the other side for more than you expect to get. This is something that we always talk about in negotiations. You have to have something that you can give or concede to, and the only way you can do that is to ask for more and expect to give some back. Henry Kissinger went so far as to say effectiveness at the conference table depends upon overstating one's demands. Now you think of some reasons why you should do this, why you should ask for more than you can get. I know that you probably came up with a lot of reasons, but if you thought about this, you probably came up with a few good reasons to ask for more than you expect to get. The obvious answer, though, is that it gives you some negotiating room, as I said just a moment ago. It gives you something to concede. If you're selling, you can always come down, but you can never go up on price. If you're buying, you can always go up, but you can never come down. What you should be asking for is your MPP, your maximum plausible position. I want you to remember that because you'll see it again. Your maximum plausible position. This is the most that you can ask for and still have the other side see some plausibility in your position. They see where you're starting to give. It's plausible that you can give a little bit and take a little bit in your position. The less you know about the other side, the higher your initial position should be. And you do this for 2 reasons. Number one, you may be off in your assumptions. I talked in another lesson about making assumptions about people, something you should not do. If you don't know the other person or his needs well, he may be willing to pay more than you think. If he's selling, he may be willing to take far less than you think. It's very, very important. Number two, if this is a new relationship, you appear much more cooperative if you're able to make large concessions or larger concessions. The better you know the other person's needs, the more you can modify your position. That's why in other lessons I always talk about knowing the person's why. Conversely, if the other side doesn't know you, their initial demands may be more outrageous. They're going to be asking for, if they know anything about negotiations, they're going to be asking for more than they think they can get because they don't know who you are, which happens in most real estate transactions. You don't know who the seller is. They don't know who the buyer is. So you have to be ready for what they're going to throw at you as well. If you're asking for far more than your maximum plausible position, imply that you have some flexibility, that you're willing to be flexible. If your initial position seems outrageous to the other person and your attitude is take it or leave it, you may not even get the negotiation started. You cannot have that take it or leave it attitude. You got to have some flexibility, be willing to talk and discuss this thing and see what you can come to for that win-win solution. The other person's response may simply be, then we don't have anything to talk about. If you have that take it or leave it attitude, you can get away with an outrageous opening position if you imply some flexibility there. Now, if you're buying real estate directly from the seller, you might say something like this. Look, I realize that you're asking for $200,000 for the property, and based on everything you know, that may seem like a fair price to you. So perhaps you know something that I don't know. But based on all the research that I've done, it seems to me that we should be talking something closer to $160,000. At that point, the seller may be thinking, now that's ridiculous. I'll never sell it for that. But he does seem to be sincere, so what do I have to lose if I spend some time negotiating with him? Just to see how high I can get him to go. If you're a salesperson, you might say to the buyer, we may be able to modify this position once we know your needs more precisely. But based on what we know so far about the quantities you're ordering, the quality of the packaging, and not needing just-in-time inventory, our best price would be in the region of $2.25 per widget. At that, the other person would probably be thinking, that's outrageous. But there does seem to be some flexibility there, so I think I'll invest some time negotiating with her and see how I can get her to go down. Unless you're already an experienced negotiator like I am, here's the problem you'll have with this. Your real MPP is probably much higher than you think it is. We all fear being ridiculed by the other people that we're negotiating with. So we're all reluctant to take a position that will cause the other person to laugh at us or put us down. That's what you want to do as an investigator, or you want them to think yours is so ridiculous that it's laughable. Okay? because that's just a starting point. All you're trying to do is get the conversation started. Once the conversation is started, you can start to work your magic as a powerful negotiator. But because of this intimidation, you'll probably feel like modifying your MPP to the point where you're asking for less than the maximum amount that the other person would think is plausible. Don't ask for less, ask for more. Another reason for asking for more than you expect to get will be obvious to you if you are positive thinking like I am. You might just get it. You don't know how the universe is aligned that day. Perhaps somebody up above is leaning over a cloud looking down at you thinking, wow, look at Derek today. He's been working so hard for so long. Let's give him a break. So you might just get what you asked for, and the only way you find out is to ask for it. Let me tell you my philosophy about asking for something. All a person can do is say no, and no can't hurt you. So once they say no, you move on to the next step. In one of my lessons, I tell you, no doesn't mean no. No simply means maybe. So then we keep working. In addition, asking for more than you expect to get increases the perceived value of what you're offering. If you're applying for a job and asking for more than you expect to get, you're implanting in your personnel director's or your boss's mind that you are worth that much more. Okay? When I was selling a car, I used to sell cars for Oarsman Chevrolet in Maryland. And when I was selling cars and asking for more than I expected to get, it positioned my buyer into believing that the car was worth more. You know, people have what's called perceived values. And some people won't even pay less for a product. They want to spend more. I just was giving them what they want as a salesperson, and then I was able to come down to what it was I really want to get. Remember that when you're buying cars, by the way. Another advantage of asking for more than you expect to get is that it prevents negotiation from deadlocking. If you ask for only what you expect to get and you can't be flexible on that, how are you going to move on from that investigation? You're going to be at a deadlock. A final reason, and it's the reason power negotiators say that you should ask for more than you expect to get, is that it's the only way you can create a climate where the other person feels that he or she won. Remember, I told you the entire thing with negotiations, and it might be a cliche, but you want to have a win-win situation. Now, somebody really has to win, somebody really has to lose, and of course you want that to be you. But you want to create in their mind that it is a win-win situation so they can walk away happy. Yeah, one thing with cars, I never wanted buyers' regret. I wanted the buyer to be happy, and they were. So they would send me their cousins, their uncles, their husband, wives, friends. They would be repeat customers, and life was good. So if you go in with your best offer up front, there's no way you can negotiate with the other side and leave them feeling that they won. You want them to be winners. Now, what kind of people are we dealing with? We're dealing with, these are experienced negotiators who always want to start with their best offer. This is the job applicant who's thinking, this is a tight job market. If I ask for too much, they won't even consider me. This is the person who's selling a house or a car and thinking, if I ask too much, they'll just laugh at me. This is the salesperson who is saying to her sales manager, I'm going out on this big proposal today, and I know that it's going to be competitive. I know that you're getting bids from people all over town. Let me cut the price up front, or we won't stand a chance of getting the order. I mean, that's what I want. I want people to have that thinking, but that's not the thinking I'm going to have. Powerful negotiators know the value of asking for more than you expect to get. It's the only way that you can create a climate in which the other side feels that he or she won. So let's recap the 5 reasons I just gave you for asking for more than you expect to get. Number 1, and the biggest reason is you simply might just get it. That's what you want. You might get it. You might put out your first offer when you're buying a house, and they would take it. Now, I know what you're going to say. Man, I should have given them a lower offer. Well, I should ask for even more because we can never be satisfied. We always think that they take the first offer, then it was a bad offer. But hey, you might just get what you want to pay. It gives you some negotiating room when you ask for more. You want to ask for a bunch of things that you know you're not even going to get so that you can concede those things to get what you really want to get. Number 3, it raises the perceived value of what you're offering. It makes people think, man, this guy thinks it's worth it. Now, if they did their research, they may know what it's really worth, but a lot of people don't do their research, so they may not know. It prevents the negotiation from deadlocking, which I talked about. And it creates a climate in which the other side feels that he or she won, which is very, very important to create that win-win perception in their minds. Powerful negotiators know that as negotiations progress, they will work their way towards the middle where they'll find a solution that both sides can accept. So my message to you is always, always, always leave some room to get the other person, to let the other person have a win. Private negotiators always ask for more than they expect to get. If you want to learn more, you can contact me at massiveactionsuccesscoaching.com. You can check out my negotiating vehicles on my YouTube channel. It's right there in front of you, YouTube users negotiations now. It's called negotiations now. You can do a search for that, or you can also join my Facebook group, which is also negotiations now. I hope to see you soon, and I'll have another video for you pretty soon. And this is Derek Smith, aka Dr. Negotiator, coming to you with 20 years experience in negotiations and trying to share that experience with you in order for you to have a successful business in whatever you're trying to do. Thank you very much.